Let's talk about the MessageBox class. So I've got an example here. So we'll be taking a look at the project MessageBox extravaganza. So what we're going to do here is display a series of message boxes. So let's look at the code. And this is the heart of it right here, messagebox.show. We've used this a number of times. It takes three parameters. The first is any text that would go in the client area of the message box itself. The second is a string that represents the caption associated with that message box, in other words, the thing in the title of the window. The third is what configuration of buttons this particular message box should display. And the fourth is a specialized icon. And it turns out that the icons are actually a enumerated type, so we can iterate through them as we've been doing with other enumerated types. And the buttons are also a set of enumerated types. And you can see those fairly easily. If we go into the object browser, and I just search for message box, these symbols over here to the left that sort of look like a couple of equal signs mean that this is an enumeration. And here we have the message box icon enumeration. And here are all the possible values for that icon. And we'll see those when we run the code in a bit. And just above that, we have the message box buttons enumeration, and here we see all of the possible values for those buttons. So we're going to loop through those, essentially showing all of the icons and all of the buttons together in a message box. And note that each time through, we do set the input focus to the text box so that we can continue to hit the enter key and get another iteration of the loop, which shows us another message box. Notice also the use of environment.newline so that we can skip from line to line as we see these message boxes listed. And now let's just go ahead and run the code. So I click on Show Message Box Catalog. Here we see the message box. And of course, before I can go on, I have to dismiss it by clicking OK or hitting the Enter key. And there you see that that particular button set was OK with no icon. And the result, in other words, what happened when I actually dismissed the message box, was I clicked OK. The next one to display is the OK Cancel button set with no icon set. And at this point, we don't know what I'm going to click on here. For the message box, I'll click Cancel. And then the next one is, as you can see, Abort, Retry, Ignore, no icon, and let's click on Abort. And because of the way these message boxes are configured, I can just hit the Enter key and display each of these in turn. So for example, here with Abort, Retry, Ignore, I've got the icon set of question, and so you can see that on the message box itself, there's a question mark icon. And there you have several configurations for message boxes displayed by looping through a couple of enumerated types. So that's the message box class and the show method from the .NET Framework.